back again. Alright, some more tips and tricks and everything to get your month started off right and get everything going into the groove. We're going to talk about the ups and downs of buying a home. So, everybody knows to get a home, you got to get your pre-approval letter, down payment, closing costs. Some to most know about this. The process of looking for a home, waiting, up to 45 or so, a month and a half to 2 months to actually get approved for the home because they're going through paperwork. They're looking at your past employers, seeking you actually afford the home, all that stuff. Everybody pretty much typically know about that. But let's talk about the other side of that. Let's talk about the actual side of, what people don't talk about. What's going on, bro? Hey man, I've been off of YouTube for a minute, man. I can't even hardly see a thing pop up on here. Yeah, man, I've been off of YouTube for a minute. And I had I think I got your number. I gotta hit you up, man. I seen your email. I had a whole situation with my email though, man. My doggone email was out of data because I got too many pictures in my phone, so I had to, buy a new data plan from Google. Like I had damn near about a terabyte or something like that craziness because I got too many pictures on my phone. I'm taking them all off now, but yeah, I'm gonna get on that. But back to the story at hand. When it comes down to it, like as far as buying a home, we know about the whole process most. But this is the bigger picture, man. For a lot of people, you don't know about the subtle things that happens. Like prime example, you get all this money for the down payment, you get all this money for the closing costs. What about the money for actually moving into the property? A lot of people, man, they don't have that knowledge, man. Sometimes, man, it could cost up to $3,000 to move into a property. And the crazy part, utilities. I knew a guy, he bought a brand new house. The guy was paying about $1,700 a month. Everything good. Don't you know, the first month this guy moved in, he didn't even have enough money to pay the light bill because he budgeted right strictly for down payment and closing costs only. He didn't have extra money for the move-in. He had to get a couple of his partners to help him move in. Got the cheapest U-Haul truck he can find. Light bill, gas, all that stuff. Majority of that stuff is in the person's name who owns that home right now. So when it comes down to it, appreciate that. Like a blogger, but I mostly just give a lot of content pertaining to finance and just self-aware health, mental health talking. But yeah, I appreciate that. I'll pull up your channel. But more majority the guy, like, let me screenshot so I can get your channel. But this guy didn't have none of the other stuff budgeted in, so first month lights got turned off, and he hit my friend up and was talking to him, and he was like, man, they turned off my lights. And my friend was like, oh, did you pay the bill or what, did you switch everything over because you just got it? You shouldn't have got no bill. He was like, oh, I had to put the lights in my name. And that's something that, somebody's buying a home, never bought a home before, you've always stayed with people, certain little things. I mean, but this the craziness about it, let's say, but this guy's an adult. He was in his 50s. He never owned a home. I always stayed with people. So it's small things that he should have known, but common sense, but just didn't follow through with. Another instance, these bills. You literally can move into a house. I got a friend right now. because he has a pool, his light bill is $800 a month, you know, summertime, wintertime, on any given time. So, what's going on, Tyrone? Lisa J. Stocks. So, I mean, the crazy part is, like, he's putting so much money into his light bill. But, I mean, he has a nice house, sits on about 10 acres. But the thing of it is, he's like, I'm expected to pay this high light bill. He has a septic tank, so he's only paying water. He has a pump the septic tank every so often. Gas bill, you know. His house pretty much electric besides the furnace. And, you know, the crazy part is, hey, you don't know how much your utilities is going to be around every month because you never stayed in the house. So that's another problem people don't think about. You know, you got your move in, you got your bills. Okay, another thing, HOA. Most people, they move into a property because they love it. Oh man, this area is so nice. If you don't have a real estate agent that's real handy and can kind of work with you and tell you the do's and the don'ts, you can just be stuck. Because when it comes down to it, they're looking at their best interest is, hey man, this guy wants this property, he likes it. Oh man, the HOA is $1,000 a year. Or maybe the HOA is $150 a month. You gotta pay it. You gotta pay it. And then in most cases, HOA normally reach out to you because they have to set up an account and all this stuff. One property I seen where the HOA didn't even send the lady nothing. And because she wasn't paying her HOA, she bought her house outright. They end up selling her house for half of what she paid for the house. And I'm like, wow, can the HOA do that? I mean, I never know it's such cases where the HOA can boot you out of the community. But to sell your house without your knowledge, I'm like, it was crazy to me. But, you know, you have situations, you know, some that happen like that. I think it was a little racially motivated, but hearsay. But stuff like that, you can have HOA and tremendously fees pile up, man. And before you know it, you don't even want to stay in the community no more. Because besides you paying your mortgage, utilities, you still got to pay that additional money. And then that's another thing. A lot of people, you might say, well, I'm a budget for a house for about maybe $800. Yeah, that's $800 just starting off. Then when you look at the fact of the matter is, you stay in the house for a couple years, property tax. Property tax steady goes up. A lot of people don't like when property tax goes up, but guess what? When the property tax goes up, it helps you. You know, it helps the community and the overall what? It helps your property go up to the point where the value is more. A lot of people don't like the property tax going up, but they want their house to be worth more. So when they get ready to sell it, there you go. Exactly. A lot of people don't read that fine print when it comes to that. Malika, what's going on? A lot of people don't read that. And this is the thing. You're entrusting your agent to kind of walk you through the process, because if this is your first time buying a home, yeah, sorry about that, at a call. But yeah, you know, a lot of times you entrust yourself to hopefully have a good real estate agent that pretty much will have your back and kind of work with you during the process to make sure everything is coping steady. You ain't have no hiccups in your, you know, real estate buying problems or issues. You know, they kind of work with you. Because, you know, a lot of people, this is their first time buying a home. Second and third time, maybe even fourth time, you get privy to it. You know the do's and the don'ts. Prime example, home inspection. A lot of people don't like getting home inspections. And I, by far, I will never buy a house without getting a home inspection. You know, if it's something that I know that's in dire situation that needs to just be bulldozed or has a lot of work to be done, and I'm prepared to do all the work and, you know, just sacrifice that, cool. But Always gonna look for a home inspection. I don't care what's the situation. Buying a home inspector, getting a home inspector come in. That's always the best. That's always the best fit, in my opinion. Atlanta Dream Homes in Atlanta. I use this guy several times. Any house I do, I recommend them to a lot of people. Dream Home, I think it's Dream Home Inspections. So, like, when it comes down to it, a lot of people like that $300 could save you $10,000 in the process. There's a person, they bought a house and all the lights were off on the left side. The left side had the most natural light, and that was the side where all the lights were off on that side. And because this person didn't know, they bought the home just on, hey, I'm gonna buy this home. This is a nice home, and it turned out all the lights were off on that side. Had to get it fixed. Not getting an inspector. I knew one young lady, she bought a house, and the inspector, she had a bad inspector. I told her to go through what I went through. She didn't want to listen. She ended up getting an inspector. The inspector said, oh yeah, everything's good. Come to find out, 2 months later when the summer came in, she turned on the AC. AC didn't work. Had to get a whole new AC unit, and you talking about $3,000 to $4,000 sometime in most cases, just to get the unit. Furnace, same thing, about $5,000. You're buying the unit and you're paying for the installment. Sometimes this thing get about $7,000. You get a big unit, you talking about $5,000 for the unit, $2,000 for the guy to come do the work to put it in. And depending on where it's at, it's a lot of work. Sometimes they have in the crawl space, sometimes they have in attics, depending. Typically when you buy a house your first time, the do's and the don'ts. You typically look at it going to see a second and third time buying a home. So home inspectors are always a big thing. A lot of people miss out on that, and they fail it to where they're paying more later. Another big thing where a lot of people kind of take things for a joke is more or less the process on when having everything ready to move in. Did all your paperwork, you're moving in, got your bills and everything set aside. You're like, yeah, I got everything. What's the next step? School. A lot of people don't look at the schools. I've always told people, I used to move furniture back in the day, and that was one of my biggest things that I always told everybody that I move. They always say location, location, location. But as always, if you want your child to be successful in life, it's according to, hey, where you want your child to go to school at? How about the school system? A lot of people neglect buying a real nice house compared to the type of mindset they're going to have for their kids later. One young couple, I met this guy, never had a kid, just got married, and he was saying that, is this area pretty nice over here? I was like, man, this area is lovely. It was in the Smyrna in Atlanta, and the outskirts going into Smyrna. Real nice area. And he was saying, maybe I'll buy a house over here, because he was renting until he, find a house, because the houses that he did want, they were getting sold quick. And some of them, they were above asking price. Some of them just sold for the price it was, but they got there first. So when it comes down to it, buying a home, have kids, it always stands location, location, location. You can buy a real nice home in a okay neighborhood. The school systems suck. They're bottom ranking, and you would think staying in a real nice neighborhood, you'll have a good school system. But you gotta understand, if it's a brand new subdivision just built, they're putting all that money in that subdivision to kind of boost up that area. Hopefully they get a new class of people to move in that can, uplift the community, uplift the area, but that takes time. So a lot of times, you know, we go through the process. Okay, what's going on from India? Okay, I see you pushing in. What's going on? And a lot of times, man, when buying a home, it's just simple things a lot of people forget. You know, the process on one end, it can be easy, and then it's nerve-wracking. Like I say, people buying a home for the first time, man, you go through so many issues. Then there's literally so much paperwork you have to sign with the amortization schedule. You know, a lot of people, if you pay your mortgage one payment extra a year, you cut off like 7 years off your 30-year mortgage. A lot of people don't have the money for a 15, you know, so just get a 30 and you can double your payments. You'll pay your house out way faster. You know, these are the things that you just got to learn the process. And a lot of people, when buying a home, this is the process in which a lot of people just don't understand. They don't know. You know, like I said, getting the down payment is cool. Getting the closing costs is cool. You know, maybe even HOA if you're moving into the area is cool. But what about the things after the process? What about moving? You know, the money you're going to have for the move. 10 times out of 10, a lot of people want new furniture. Don't buy nothing. I mean, in my opinion, I wouldn't buy nothing the first 6 months until I moved in, because hitting costs, you don't know. Maybe your AC goes out, you know, because you didn't get a good inspection. Maybe it's just that time of the AC, because when they inspected it, everything was working. You know, they probably told you, man, this is an old unit. This unit been in here since the house been built. So over time, that thing, it goes out. You know, prime example with me. I moved in, I had a refrigerator in there, I had a stove. Refrigerator went out the first 3 months, bought a new refrigerator. Well, I bought a used refrigerator. Bought another used refrigerator. That refrigerator went out. Ended up buying a brand new refrigerator. So there was 3 refrigerators in my house within 2 years of me owning that home. Same thing with my stove. But on one hand, when I bought the house, stove, everything worked perfect. I bought the house around October, well, it was November. Bought the house in November. The next year, coming in Thanksgiving, stove went out. Had to go buy a whole new stove. So I'm talking about the appliances go out, and man, it's just one thing after another. And that brings me to my next topic. Home warranties. A lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people kind of neglect the home warranty thing, but man, that home warranty saved me. I talked about it several times before. Actually, going into the second year of buying the home, the first year, when I just actually got the home, going into the spring, I actually got the home warranty. So I could have took advantage of me getting a new stove that fall through my home warranty, but I just thought they only cover major appliances. Come to find out, they'll cover refrigerators, stoves, washers and dryers, all that. So luckily, going into the second, almost third year, I had my AC fixed through them. I got that refrigerator, my third refrigerator through them, and my roof I actually got through my insurance, but it had hail that they had like damage on the roof, tree limbs. I had a hole from where I guess a squirrel was getting in there. Previously, I see where patches where they were patching up the roof for squirrels trying to get in previously before Shay Love was going on in the building. So, you know, those things I, you know, kind of wasn't expected. That's why I say getting that home warranty, that's a big plus. It helped me out with a lot of the things that's going, because I wouldn't have had, I think my roof cost $4,800. You know, I wouldn't have had that $4,800 in cash to put down on my roof to get a new roof. The AC unit, they end up putting a new unit in there. It was $3,600 or something like that. I wouldn't have had the $3,600 just off the rip. I'd have either put it on a credit card, borrow the money, or set up a payment plan through them. But that home warranty helped me out with that. Jay, we're talking about buying a home, and just the extra costs and things behind or besides that. But yeah, I would have never had all that stuff just cash on hand, because I put so much in putting on the down payment, closing costs. Luckily, I moved into a neighborhood that didn't have an HOA. You know, that was one of the things I was, you know, real strict on with my agent, was not moving to an area with an HOA. So stuff like that, you have to be privy to asking these questions. You know, I can tell you, I went through, I would say, 5 home buying seminars and classes before we actually bought our house. I went to 2 with my wife and 3 by myself, because I didn't know the whole process. So I knew buying a house, you need to get a pre-approval letter before you talk to the agent. You know, luckily I knew an agent that was a friend, and they could take me around without, but I was going to be wasting their time. So versus wasting their time, I went through the regular process. I went and got pre-approved. Everything was fine. Went and see how much money I had, typically how much money I want to spend each month. And the first time I got pre-approved for a house, it was by myself for $350,000. You think I told my wife that I got pre-approved for $350,000? Nope. I told her I got pre-approved for $150,000. So that gave her a range to where this was the amount we need to spend. You know, end up going up just a tad, but only because, you know, once again, the houses that was in that price range at that time, they were either going too quick, or in Mills was going on with you. They were going too quick, or was just something that I couldn't afford, so I had to just, you know, keep it moving. And in the end, we ended up couldn't find nothing and came back through the process again. But the biggest thing was, you know, not trying to overspend. And the reason I did that with my wife was because she wanted the marble tops. She wanted everything, like the luxury part of it. And like I told her, that's things that we can put into the house. You know, like we just put hardwood in the house. That's something that, you know, you can add on. It was carpet. We put hardwood in the hallways, dining room, living room, on the steps. And I'm like, that's something that you can add later. Like, trying to do it right now, I was like, nah, I just didn't want to do it. But, you know, within the process, adding that stuff later is good. You know, still adds value to your house. We painted the house. The siding outside, I'm gonna pressure wash that. Excuse me. Thinking about doing the patio, making it big. We're gonna do the whole kitchen. I'm thinking about doing butcher boards over the top. My wife don't think that's a good idea, but I'm thinking butcher board countertops is real nice. But you know, everybody wants the cork or the granite look, the real polished look. But adding stuff to your house that increase the value. But like I say, overall, stuff like that, it's just a process. You know, everybody has their points that they want off their checklist for their home. But when it comes down to it, could you do it later? You know, I could have bought a house with hardwood already in there, but to the extent the price of the hardwood, I think it ran us about $900, and me putting it in myself, it was actually cheaper. I mean, the labor, the back, but other than that, it was cheaper. And then when we get ready to sell the house, the value's gonna be up. And see, me being a handyman and, you know, going to YouTube University, learning all this stuff on how to do things, just make it even better for me fixing up my home. You know, so in regards, like I say, when you get ready to buy a house, there's a lot of hidden things besides the down payment, the closing costs, all that process. You know, looking out for things that when you move in, when you move in, you gotta pay your movers, or you gotta pay, to get the truck and family members to come help you. Worrying about the taxes, taxes going up every year. That's a good thing for you, as far as if your taxes go up every year, but then it's bad for your wallet. So you got to make more money or account for that. Utilities. Keep your utilities at a minimum. Right now I got to end up calling my cable company, and I'm gonna end up calling my light company as well, because I'm like, last month my bill just went up tremendously, and I'm like, my thermostat is set on a timer. I understand that the coal went down and still running more electricity. My thermostat is set on a timer. I have a smart thermostat. Same thing with my a lot of my electronics in the house. They're on smart devices. But it's just crazy how my utilities, my cable went up, and I'm like, it was worse than when my kids were home. In December. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Buying a home, putting your add-ons and doing things to fix your home, it benefits you. A lot of people, man, buying something that's okay. Like I told my wife, and she was so happy that we did the budget and we bought this home and it was under budget. And now she's seeing all these people buying homes, $2,000 mortgage, and they can't afford it. $3,000 mortgage, can't afford it. I mean, real nice homes, but everything costs. I mean, what's the hustle and flow? You want quality, it's gonna cost you. And a lot of people want the quality, but don't want to pay the cost. That's why I say you buy something that's okay and you add quality to it. So if you can't afford the hardwood, put it in later. The granite marble countertops, put it in later. Like, we're gonna change the whole cabinets. We have the brown cabinets in there. Young Riaz, what's going on? We're gonna add new cabinets to it. It's just the whole thing. The process of you fixing your house up. It comes with due diligence. Just over time, putting in the work. It's a process, and a lot of people want that right now. Like they say, the worst thing that ever happened to America was the microwave, because it's like, what is it? J.G. Wentworth. I want my money and I want it now. Everybody got to trust the process. Start off slow and move your way up, just like with a job. Even with buying a home, you got to be in the right state of mind. You can't just be going at top tier. Get something that's okay. Get something in the good, in the space mind. If I would do it again, which we're moving to a rural area, because sacrificing the city life for a country, rural side area, you have more land. Most of the time in the country, the schools are more structured, catered to, kids that's working with their hands, having, certain resources that you don't get in the city, and especially with buying a house, the HOA, non-existent in most areas. You have the land to where you can grow things, because I'm getting into farming, and that's a big thing. I want to have some chickens. Maybe I want to pluck some chickens. Fifi's homestead, I watch her, and she's raising chickens, and when they get too old, she go ahead and pluck them out, and she's getting the eggs, homegrown eggs at home. So she's good. She has an egg, she has a chicken, she has a garden with her vegetables in there and fruit, things of that nature. She can live off the land, and that's what I want to start doing. Getting to a point of living off the land. Of course, getting some more properties where I can have rental properties as well, but due diligence is just a process. But needless to say, I just got to the JOB, and I'm about to get ready to get off of here. And you know what I always say when I leave out here? Shout out to everybody coming in. Hit that like button on the replay. Hit that like button now. I always say, we here, we gone. Peace.